Icelandair is only one of the airlines grounding their 737 MAX fleets by grounding its 3 MAX 8 aircraft until further notice. Norwegian Airlines also grounded its fleet of 18, citing European aviation authorities. Of the 374 737 MAX airplanes currently in operation around the world, some 40% have now been grounded. More than 20 airlines have grounded the plane, including Norwegian, German travel group TUI, and a number around the world have only just started building their fleets. And the EU has now added to the growing amount of airspace close to the new Boeing plane, as a global team of investigators looks for parallels with the crash in Indonesia just 5 months ago. Boeing stocks have shed billions since Monday, but analysts say ultimately they expect things to normalise.
So number one, we think that the Boeing planes are safe. We think that Boeing set out a directive to pilots on how to handle the software sending the plane into a dive. There's ways to override the system. American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, and United have all said they believe the plane is safe. We expect the order book to be largely intact.
US carriers say they will continue operating the planes as normal for now. But pressure is growing on authorities there to take action over the Boeing 737 MAX 8. Many airlines are citing customers frightened by Sunday's Ethiopian Airlines MAX 8 crash, which killed all 157 people on board.
I'm now joined in the studio by our aviation specialist, Christoph Kober, and in Frankfurt, at Frankfurt Airport, actually, our reporter, Paul Christian Britz, is standing by. Welcome to you both. Paul, we start with you. What are you hearing there from passengers at Frankfurt Airport?
Well, Europe has closed its airspace to the 737 MAX, and a lot of the passengers that I talked to are actually quite happy. That it gives them a sense of more well-being, that they know they will not be boarding this kind of plane today. Some actually went in and checked what kind of plane they're flying with, although generally the majority has a lot of trust in air travel in general, saying that airplanes are the least likely to cause any damage to them compared to other ways of travel. I also ran into a pilot who said he has complete trust in this airplane and suspects it's more of a political issue. There, people need to feel more safe, even though it might not be necessary. The impact here in Europe is not as big as it is in the US and also in the Asia-Pacific region, where a lot more of these planes are flying actually.
Christoph, talking about trust, major US airlines have said that the 737 is perfectly safe. Do they have a point, or is it better to err on the side of caution?
Well, seeing that two very same planes, two very same type of planes were involved in crashes just in a matter of months, I think
similar crashes.
Similar crashes, yeah. I think it is a sensible thing to do here, to be cautious, and I think by the growing number of regulatory bodies and airlines that are saying, well, we're going to put this thing on hold, I think that shows you that this is the overwhelming decision. The FAA, up to now is going with, well, we've done a review of the data that we have, which is not a lot, I would say. And this review has shown us that there is no systemic performance issue, as the FAA says, hence there is no need to ground the plane.
Do we know anything more by now about the circumstances of the latest crash in Ethiopia?
No, we don't. But the flight data recorder, as well as the voice recorder from the flight deck of flight ET302 have been recovered, and experts are trying to extract the data and interpret it. Now, Ethiopia's Ministry of Transport will work together with the United States authorities, where Boeing is located, to find a place to examine the data, because Ethiopia itself doesn't have the necessary equipment to do so. Meanwhile, this is a crisis for Boeing, a crisis that is widening. I mean, you've mentioned it at the beginning of this segment, more than $26 billion of market value have been wiped off of Boeing stock amid this crisis. There's even ever more questions popping up over the 737 MAX program, which is the most important product for the company. There's about 5,000 planes on order of this very type.
5,000?
Yeah, just about that. You have to see that every about 2 seconds, there is a 737 taking off or departing, taking off or landing somewhere in the world. This is the widest sold aircraft in the world. So having something wrong with this series is troublesome, and needing to get to the bottom of this is essential for Boeing.
Paul, coming back to you, is Boeing a bit sore off the mark there with clarifying the technical issues? What are investors saying?
Well, Boeing has responded quickly, but it hasn't responded in a way that would put trust back in the company. It's saying its technology is working fine, it is very safe, but at the same time, since the Lion Air crash in October, there is a software update that is supposed to come for this airplane, and that hasn't come, won't be available until April, and that doesn't really, spark new confidence in the company. The share price has been suffering, certainly, and may continue to do so if Boeing can't put faith back into its product.
Paul, Christian Britz and Christoph Kober, to both of you, thank you very much.